guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Vincent. If you've been enjoying these videos, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Even hit that little notification bell so you know when I put out a new tutorial. In today's lesson, we're going to be focused on the D major Musette by J.S. Bach. This is one of my favorite songs to teach beginner to intermediate piano players. We're going to do a quick D major scale warm-up at the beginning of the tutorial. Then we're going to break down each section, hands separately, and then put it together slowly. We're going to do that for the section A, section B, and the repeat. So let's get to work. Okay, so before we get to work on this piece, a great thing to do is warm up with a D scale, because this piece is written in the key of D, so we have to be aware of the notes F sharp and C sharp. So let's start with our right hand, thumb on D, left hand, pinky on D. Here's our F sharp, under, C sharp. Try one more time, just back up. Okay, so now that you're familiar with the key of D major and you're comfortable playing in that position, let's get to work, because this piece is strictly in the key of D major. There's so many little parts of the scale incorporated into this piece. Now the cool thing about this is that there's only two parts. It's like an A and a B section. The A section plays at the beginning, then we have the B section, and then the A section repeats again to end it off. So you're really only looking at two different sections for this. So we're going to start with our right hand, pinky up on the A, and it's in 2/4, remember key of D major, so all F's and all C's are going to be sharp. So let's give this a try, starting with 5 on the letter A up here. We have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So that little phrase, again, is just a 5-finger phrase starting with A and then walking down the D major scale, kind of, G, F sharp, E, D. So let's do those two measures again, starting with 5 on A, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, so that was the first two measures. The next thing we're going to do is jump down to 3rd finger on the F sharp, and we start the next phrase. Staccato, with short. All those little dots mean to play these notes short. Okay, so look at those, the next two measures one more time. So we'll repeat that. So we're starting with 3 on the F sharp. For those two measures, we had some 16th notes. The first two notes were F sharp, G. Those are 16ths attached to an 8th note. So again, it's this. And then you're back to your 8th notes. Great, and now we're going to move all the way up to A again. So it's the same as the first phrase. Same thing. And jump down. And now it repeats, and it does that entire section again. So a great thing to do here to watch out for is the movement of your hand. We're going from the high A down to the F sharp, so you have to sort of visually target those notes before you play them. So looking ahead a little bit of what you're playing is going to be a great idea there. So let's try that entire right hand for the section A one more time. Starting with 5 on A, and 2, and 1, and 2, and now jump and staccato. Remember to keep the notes short. And back up to the A. And 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Right, and that D is a full quarter note, so we have to give it one full count. Now let's take a look at the left hand. The left hand is starting with octaves. An octave is 8 notes from the bottom note. So if that is D, the octave away is also D, just in a different register. Okay, so let's give this a try. We start off with the octave Ds, and they're staccato as well. Starting with pinky and moving to thumb. We have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and then we jump up to the 3 on F sharp, and this is going to be played in unison with the right hand, which means the same notes as the right hand's playing and the same rhythms. So we have the F sharp 16th, staccato, and back down to the octave Ds. Up to the F sharp. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's repeat that section with just the left hand. So we're starting pinky on D. Just the octaves. And now we're going to jump. And back down. Keep those octaves steady and short. And get ready to jump back up. Okay, this time we're going to try it real slow, but we're going to put hands together. So remember to keep your pinky up on A and your left hand pinky down on D, and we start just like this. 2 16th notes per 8th note. And now both hands will travel to the F sharps. Staccato. 1 and 2 and going back. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Let's try it one more time. We're going to keep the tempo very slow so that it's easy to follow. Again, if you're not quite sure or quite ready to get up to this part, continue practicing the sections separately. Just keep going back and rewinding until you're comfortable enough to get ready to play both hands. So here we go. 1 and 2 and. Get ready to move. These are all short. Anything with a slur over it is smooth. The 16th notes here. And more 16ths. Okay, so that was the A section. We're going to get moving on to the B section now. Again, if you're not ready to move on to the B section, just go back and try this first part again. Okay, for the B section, we're going to be starting with second finger on C sharp in the right hand, and we have a group of 16th to 8th, 16th to 8th, and then we're traveling all the way up to the A again. The other thing that you should be aware of are the slurs and the articulation. So we talked a lot about the staccatos in section A. There's some slurring in this section as well. We had some in the first section. 2-note phrases more, sometimes 3-note phrases to start, and then we have these 2-note duple phrases. So we're going to start right now with third finger on this C sharp here, and we're going, and we're traveling to the A, smooth, 1 and 2 and, fourth finger D. Watch that again. It's just a D scale coming down, but I like to use the fourth finger here. And then 3. Okay, now we're going to start with 5 on E here. To D sharp, staccato, D natural, tie, C sharp, up to A, G sharp. It does that same thing again. Tie, up to A, now E. And all 16th notes, all smooth, and then short. G sharp, A, D natural, and third finger, C sharp. Okay, that really is section B. That's the main part of it. So we're going to do that again. We'll slow it down a little bit. So at measure 9, we're starting with 3 on C sharp again. Jump up to the A. Break the phrase. Okay, now we have the E, D sharp, tie to D, C sharp, A, G sharp, D tie. And we can do a little crescendo here, so it's getting louder. 4 on D, C sharp, A, D, now over to C sharp. Okay, that might be worth going back a few times and trying. So just follow the right hand. We're playing it at a reduced tempo, so you should be okay with that. Otherwise, let's move on to the next part of section B, which is going to be the left hand. And we're starting with more octaves here, only this time it's octaves on A. And we have a lot of them, so you have to really make sure you're following along and counting. So we have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and now we're going to jump to E octaves down. 2 and 1 and 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 2 and now it breaks and we have E, but instead of an octave we go to D, C sharp, D, E quarter note, and A, D, and now in unison with the right hand, C sharp, D, E. Okay, so there wasn't a whole lot going on there that was changing. It was mostly the same notes, octaves, A to E. So go back and try that a few more times. And once you're ready, we're going to try it hands together. So now we're going to start section B with both hands. Remember to start, you can have 3 or 2. I prefer 3 on C sharp and octave A's here. Jump up to the A. It goes on to the next section, but let's do that for measure 9 one more time just for practice. So we're going to start with 3 C sharp, pinky on A in the left. Okay, go back and work on that section a few more times, and that's going to be the end of section B. So now, let's move on to the last part. So for the last part, like I mentioned before, it's really a repeat of section A. So we went section A, section B, and then it sort of goes back to section A. So let's just play through this hands together one more time. Remember, our octaves are D in the left hand and our right hand starts with pinky on A. Now it does go back to measure 9 with repeat. Okay, those are all the sections. If you go back and practice all of them slowly, break it down, look at the music, follow your key signature, look at the accidentals. We have D sharps in there, D naturals, all of those things you have to watch out for. Certainly the articulation, the staccatos and the legatos. Just spend your time on it and you'll get it. And I'll see you at the next tutorial.